On the 15th of July 2020, the most powerful people on the planet were systematically taken offline. At 4:16 p.m., a coordinated wave of digital breaches swept across the internet, compromising high-profile accounts one by one. The takeover started at the very top of the tech industry. Elon Musk's account was hijacked, broadcasting a fraudulent message to millions of his followers. The attackers didn't stop at Silicon Valley. Minutes later, the breach crossed into the political sphere, taking control of the feed of former US President Barack Obama. The dominoes kept falling. Jeff Bezos, Warren Buffett, and Microsoft founder Bill Gates all lost control of their profiles simultaneously. Global financial markets shuddered. News networks scrambled for answers, while intelligence agencies, including the CIA, braced for what appeared to be a massive, coordinated cyber warfare operation launched by a hostile nation-state. There was no foreign government. When the dust settled, authorities traced the entire attack back to an apartment in Tampa, Florida. The mastermind was a 17-year-old high school student. This teenager bypassed the multi-billion-dollar security infrastructure of the most secure tech companies on Earth, and he did it without a single line of complex code. 4 years earlier, Graham Ivan Clark was an isolated 13-year-old. After his parents divorced, his mother worked 2 jobs to keep the family afloat. Left mostly to his own devices, Graham found his community entirely online. He focused on the thriving virtual economy within Minecraft, setting himself up as a middleman broker for rare and highly coveted digital items. It didn't take long for him to find a lucrative exploit. He began offering exclusive digital capes that cost hundreds of real-world dollars. He would collect the cash up front from buyers, then immediately block them and vanish without delivering the goods. By age 13, he was pulling in thousands of dollars a month. His lucrative run hit a wall when a prominent YouTuber gathered a digital trail of his scams and exposed him to the community. Graham was permanently banned from the server. Furious, he connected with underground hacker groups, learned basic techniques, and systematically destroyed the YouTuber's digital life, deleting his channel, emails, and social media accounts. The public humiliation wiped out his virtual reputation, but the retaliation taught him a dangerous lesson. He realized he could use the internet to systematically dismantle someone's entire digital presence. Graham took his new skills to a hidden forum called OG Users. This was a black market where hackers bought and sold highly desirable original social media handles, like 2-letter usernames that commanded massive price tags. To steal these accounts, he mastered a remarkably effective technique known as Sim Swapping. Armed with a target's stolen personal data, Graham would call their cell phone provider. By posing as the victim, he'd trick the customer service rep into transferring the phone number onto a blank SIM card he controlled. Instantly, all of the victim's calls, texts, and 2-factor authentication codes routed directly into Graham's hands. He scaled this tactic up to target high-net-worth individuals in the cryptocurrency space. In April 2019, he hijacked the phone of crypto investor Greg Bennett. While Bennett sat in his office, completely locked out of his own devices, he watched helplessly on his computer as $64,000 worth of Bitcoin was drained from his wallet. After stealing the funds, Graham emailed Bennett, threatening his family and demanding more money. At 16 years old, he had officially graduated from video game griefing to 6-figure federal extortion. Authorities eventually caught up to him. In April 2020, police raided his Tampa apartment. They confiscated his high-end computer rigs and discovered 400 Bitcoin in his possession, worth roughly $3 million at the time. But the prosecution faced a massive hurdle. Graham was only 17. Under Florida state law, he could not be tried as an adult for these specific cybercrimes and wire frauds. Fearful that a lengthy trial would stretch past his 18th birthday and complicate the case further, the state offered an astonishing plea deal. Graham admitted guilt, and in exchange, he was legally allowed to keep 75% of his stolen Bitcoin in a trust. The system designed to stop him had effectively paid him out. He walked away with millions of dollars and a clear understanding that the law could not easily touch him while he was underage. Graham knew exactly how much time he had left. He was 8 months away from his 18th birthday. With his stolen millions securing his lifestyle, he began planning an attack that would cement his legacy while he was still legally protected. He found his opening in the chaos of 2020. With the pandemic forcing tech employees out of highly monitored corporate offices and into remote work environments, internal security protocols were stretched thin. Graham compiled a list of Twitter employees. He began calling them one by one, posing as Twitter's internal IT support. He manufactured a crisis, claiming the company's data was at risk, and directed them to a fake, perfectly replicated corporate portal to verify their credentials. The ultimate prize he acquired through these stolen credentials was the internal Twitter admin tool. This provided a total administrative override, allowing him to bypass passwords and take direct control of any account on the platform. For a few hours, a 17-year-old held the unchecked ability to influence global audiences. He could have released sensitive private communications from the world's elite or published fraudulent market-moving news under the guise of official corporate accounts. But he didn't do any of that. Despite possessing the most destructive digital leverage in modern history, his brain defaulted to a basic street hustle. He simply tweeted out a message from the hacked billionaire accounts, promising to double any Bitcoin sent to his wallet. The execution was incredibly sloppy. He directed the stolen funds into the exact same crypto wallet he had used to extort Greg Bennett, an address the FBI was already monitoring. Worse, he and his co-conspirators immediately went back to the OG users forum and started bragging about the heist in a public chat. 2 weeks later, he was arrested. Despite facing 30 felony charges that could have carried a life sentence, his age protected him again. After a chaotic trial held over Zoom, Graham struck another plea deal, resulting in a 3-year sentence in a juvenile facility. While in detention, the $3 million in stolen Bitcoin he was legally allowed to keep from his first arrest sat untouched in a trust. By the time he was released in March 2023, the price of Bitcoin had skyrocketed. He walked out of his 3-year sentence with a net worth of nearly $90 million. Graham Ivan Clark didn't write a master algorithm to break into the world's most powerful tech company. He simply convinced employees to bypass their own security protocols for him. It proves a chilling reality. No matter how robust our digital walls become, the greatest threat to global cybersecurity is human error and